Hi, welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada.
I made a slight effort this morning. I think it's because I woke up like truly 15 minutes ago, but I put on a little mascara. I don't know if you can tell.
Yes, like it's your eyelashes were just no, I can't tell at all. I'm so
Yeah, no,
sorry.
I felt the same way. I was like, I usually don't put on makeup because I don't want to take off makeup. Like that's the whole
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah.
I like looking better than I look. I like it. It's nice.
The process of taking off makeup is always I only put on makeup for like this and like self-tapes, which makes
Yeah.
sense. But
Yeah.
I'm really like, oh my God, when you go to bed and you're like, oh fuck, oh wait, I didn't put on makeup today. It's like a gift.
Oh, it is. Although
Hmm.
I've started to realize I still have to wash my face. That's what I've learned in quarantine.
Oh yeah. I
Even
don't
if you
wash
don't
my
wear
face.
makeup, you still have to wash your. Well, I have acne issues. So you live in a beautiful land where your face looks the same. I wake up with a different face if I don't wash it. So,
Yeah, but this was 2 runs of Accutane. So
oh yeah, no, you literally atomic bombed your body
yeah,
into doing what you want it to do.
best decision I ever made.
I'm so anti Accutane. It's insane. Okay, I see it. These are
Yeah.
the choices we both made. I'm looking at my face being like, that was such a waste of time. At the moment,
What
it felt. You know
did
what
you
it
just
is?
okay.
It's because this is 750 and it's not HD. HD, these eyelashes would be punching you in the face.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I
Um,
kind of like that this is almost like blurry and from like 1999 like quality.
it's
Like,
working out really well for me. I'm just the
yeah,
blurriness of Zoom. I know I'm not fooling anyone, and this isn't actually what I look like. But if you're staring at yourself for an hour and then for hours after editing, you just want to not hate yourself, you know?
yeah. Well, it's like there was a mirror in our house growing up. It was in my room. We called it the skinny mirror. And everyone
Yeah.
would come up to my room to use it. And
Yeah.
at first I thought we were being crazy. Like when I was in high school, like I would literally come up to my room and my mom's in my room looking at the mirror. And then I would be gone. I'd come back from school and like my sister's in my room. I'm like, get out of my room. She's like, I need the mirror. So it was just like this magical mirror that made everybody look good and feel confident. And honestly, I thought it was a little crazy because it's up in my room and it's not next to like a bathroom mirror or some other mirror to like contrast and compare. But it did it. And then I went to college. I went to like Bed Bath and Beyond and I bought some stuff. You get a laundry basket, you get a mirror, da da da. Oh my God, it was the worst mirror I've ever purchased. Every day I felt frumpy and just like it just was like, and you're like you spend like $30 on something, you're just like a mirror is a mirror is a mirror, like it's whatever. But it wasn't. And like I had to go buy another mirror so that I had because every day I was leaving the house feeling bad about myself. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you need a lie to just continue to live your
That's
life.
exactly what I'm saying. I had one of those mirrors that made me seem taller than I am, so my outfits look good in that mirror. And then I would like go and there'd be other mirrors throughout your day. You'd get reflections from windows or go try shit on, and then you're just like, what was I thinking? What is this outfit?
Yeah.
What was I thinking? And it looks good on somebody 2 inches taller than me, but
We don't have
never.
that height. Should we move on with our lives?
Yeah, so let's get into what do we do?
Anna-
Announcements.
Announcements. We thank you to all our patrons. Our patrons are wonderful. We appreciate you. You guys are really already starting to enjoy our weekly bonuses. We gotta go for $5. $5. I feel like $5 foot long. For $5, you get a sticker, you get early access, you get weekly bonuses. So we're already excited that you guys are picking up what we're putting down, which
Yeah.
is weekly bonuses. And then, of course, the higher you go up, we have monthly bonuses. We have, what else do we have? Oh, you can control our Googles. You can be a Google guest. We got tons of stuff. So check us out. And thank you to everybody that already supports us.
Why don't pets respect our podcast?
I know. I was hoping
They
it
never
wasn't that
do.
loud.
Oh no, it's fine.
In his defense, the mail lady came. So I am also as equally as excited.
That's super exciting.
It's not even my house. And I'm like, what did we get?
Bills. Follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Two @2nondoctors, the number 2 full word doctors, and on Instagram @2nondrs. If you would like to leave us a rate and review on Apple Podcasts, that would mean a lot to us. It helps us get seen. It helps us feel good. It helps our self-esteem. And, the reviews have been really, really lovely so far. So thanks for all of those.
Yeah, and buy my book, check out my
Buy
book,
Liz's book.
think about my book. Oh, fun announcement. I'm gonna do a YouTube live reading. That's my I
Hmm.
was like, I knew I had something to say. March 21st, 4 p.m. Eastern time, I'm gonna read a chapter from my book, Why Cats Are Assholes, and then I'm gonna have we're gonna have like a cat name judging contest. And Marie's gonna be there, Dr. Terry's gonna be there, another special
This
guest
is
is
the first I'm hearing the time and date have been confirmed. So
oh
let me just put
yeah.
that in my calendar real
Yeah, yeah,
quick.
yeah, yeah.
I have
Yep.
9 p.m.
You heard it here first, folks.
I know we're all hearing, oh, I'm booked, am I?
Yep, you're booked. So yeah, if, it'll be on my YouTube channel, and yeah, it's gonna be a catastic event. As I said that, I was like, back away slowly, back away slowly.
No, we're gonna come up with a better pun than catastic.
That's your job. We all know that's
Okay.
your job. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Fan mail. Fan
Fan
mail.
mail.
Fan mail.
This email is from Martin. This is about intuition. When we did a thing on intuition, what do we do? What is it? Did we do an episode on intuition?
We did do an episode on intuition. I like how you started that sentence. You're like, it's replying to our episode on intuition. We did an episode on intuition. Yeah, we did, and you were super stoked about it. And now it's gone from your memory.
I know it's something I asked to do because that's like so up my I was
You're
like,
like, I have great intuition and I need
it-
an episode where I brag about it. And then
I don't have good memory, but I do have good intuition.
okay.
So he says your subconscious, where I'm gauging intuition originates from, is basically what one refers to as your gut. Oh yeah, I remember this one. It's in gut we trust.
Yeah.
Sorry. So when you're about to do something, anything, you get a feeling. This feeling, most people go their entire lives without acknowledging and or understanding, but you really got to listen to that feeling. It's telling you something. Most of the time, it's telling you, don't fucking do this, but you ignore it and then totally screwed. And I'm not saying I have the answers, but at some point, and after many really poor decisions, but potentially interesting stories to tell, I realized that there's a feeling that comes over me when making certain decisions. And that feeling, the subconscious, the gut, the intuition, is like an emergency department in your mind, trying to let you know that you're about to do something totally wrong, or sometimes good, but most of the time, totally wrong decisions. It happens to me in all aspects, this email, in relationships, business decisions, food decisions, sitting too long, every aspect of my life. A book that I think is a solid mind expander on the subject is Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. It's a great book. And a movie, Inside Out, is how I imagine what's going on inside my head. A full team helping me out, subconsciously trying to get me to do or not do something. But I mean, I'm no doctor.
I love it, Martin. It's funny, from like doing research for that episode, it helped me clarify some of the stuff that like Martin was talking about. And also, like, I think what's really hard about intuition, at least for me, is that my anxiety, I feel like intuition, which is accumulation of events and knowledge and experiences to help kind of guide you in almost like a Rolodex of like, have we jumped off a roof before and hurt ourselves? Maybe we shouldn't do that. Like, I feel like that's over there. But then there's this other thing of anxiety, which is things that haven't happened, but because of being hurt in past experiences or whatever it is that anxiety has created, it gets conflated and like jumbled. So it's this like, am I nervous before doing this set because the stakes are actually high and this is really important? Or am I nervous because my brain is like, you know what I mean? Like it's so weird for me sometimes, because it's like I've done stand up a million times and then randomly for no reason I'll get as nervous as I would be if I was taping a show, and I literally have to talk to myself and I'm like, you're doing 15 minutes at New York Comedy Club and it doesn't matter. Why are you sweating and why are you being weird?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like I see a guy frowning and I'm like, they hate me, they're gonna hate me, they hate me. And I'm like, who cares if they hate you? It's 15 minutes of your life and then you get like $20. Like,
Oh,
shut up.
oh yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm the same with that. That sort of like 10 minutes and you move on. That's it. That's all it is. It's ruining your whole day. Like,
Yeah. But like it's so weird because and like same thing with like I remember I was going on a date with a guy. I had met him at a I had done a talk at a school. He was a teacher. Now it sounds like I'm dating a child. I met him at a school. It was a teacher. He had brought me in for a talk. I had met him a couple of times. He was very nice and he asked me out for a date and I had been on Reddit all day. This is when I was doing every social media thing. So I was on Reddit all day and Reddit is mean. I always talk about how Reddit is mean and I don't
Yeah.
this is like the one social media I won't go back to. And someone had threatened my life on Reddit. And then I was going to this date and literally getting ready for the date. I'm like, how well do I know this? We're just getting dinner, by the way. But in my mind, I was like, he's gonna murder me.
Oh,
And
I've deleted like dating apps after watching some sort of murder mystery or whatever. Like I'll
right?
just be like, I can't meet new people. That's terrifying. And then just delete.
New people's where murder happens.
Yeah, exactly.
But genuinely, like, because I spent half the day on this horrible website, when I went to get ready for this date, instead of being excited, I was like, truly, like, I wanted to cancel on him. I was terrified. I changed my outfit to be more runnable. Like, you know, like I was like real. And then, of course, I saw him and he was a sweetheart and it was fine. But like my mind, what it decides to pick up on as clues of safety, that's why like the intuition episode was so interesting to me because it's like, is my mind smarter? My mind causes guttural reactions. I'll get so nervous that I'll get a stomach ache or like be, uncomfortable. So like, I think maybe you manage the anxiety and then that gets you closer to real gut reactions, but it's so hard for me to actually, not to say that I don't have intuition, but like listening to Martin talk, I'm like, he seems like he's got his life together. Like, you know what I mean? Because like, I feel like there's one layer I have to go deeper because the anxiety gets in the way and causes like misinformation before I can even get to like real solid gut level thoughts.
Yeah.
But thank you, Martin. You could be our gut. Like, you could tell us what to do. I think that's why we have like managers and agents. I'm like, can you tell me if I'm making a good decision with my life? Okay. Googles.
Yeah. Googles.
Who wants to go when?
I think you do. Last
Okay,
time I
anyway.
got yelled at, I was like, you're like,
I love sharing my. I don't want to go first. It's like show and tell. I get really excited.
Yeah.
Okay, my Google. What are the benefits of oil of oregano? So a fan of ours, I can't remember if it was on Two Non Doctors or on my personal page, was basically being like, da da da, oil of oregano, da da da. Like it was saying all these things that like, oh, I think it was on Two Non Doctors because it was after your Google about it starts with an A, the air.
Adaptogens.
Adaptogens. I got the first letter in the gins. So pretty much if anybody needs any advice. Okay, so I think from that adaptogens question, she was actually talking about the herbs and the whatever that have helped her. And one of them she said was oil of oregano. And I used to take oil of oregano. I stopped because it's disgusting.
It's so
like,
gross.
Dude, okay. So first of all, it was this book about candida that I was reading to kind of help with my leaky gut and my candida issue, and it was like the thing that was like, you got to do this. They should have said it's in a capsule, go take a capsule, but I get like this oil that you're supposed to put in olive oil and like almost take it like a shot. So you dilute it with olive oil.
I used to take it straight, just right, like 5 drops under the tongue straight. Oh, your
dude.
face is perfect.
Dude, it feels like poison. Like if somebody said you would grow 3 inches if you did that every day, I would do 2 days and be like, you know what? I'm just going to love myself. Like I just can't.
Yeah.
It is so disgusting.
Now,
So then I
wait,
give up on it.
I'm gonna interject because
Yeah.
now think of how disgusting it is. When I was vaping, the bottle for oil of oregano is the same as the bottle for vape juice, and I didn't realize it. And I'd put oil of oregano in my vape and vaped oil of oregano. I was like, oh, like it was so disgusting and harsh. My throat, I thought it was never gonna recover. And I tell you,
Dude,
man, talk about something you can't Google. You can't Google what to do if you vape oil of oregano. Nobody's ever done that before.
No one's ever been that like just, oh my God, dude, it smells bad. It is harsh when it's in your mouth. So I was like, I did it, even though they said it was like the best thing for me. I was like, no. So I stopped. And then I guess getting other, vitamins or whatever, I saw that they had a capsule and I was like, capsule. Capsules, Liz. Capsules, you moron. So then I got capsules and clearly much better. But I mean, you can't like you have to almost like hold your nose. Okay, so you know with fish oil, you would get like those fish oil burps sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Ooh.
You get these oil of oregano burps that I'm not exaggerating. I started taking these right when I was dating my ex. So this was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I wouldn't take them on the days I was going to see him because I would have like hours later like oil of oregano burps. Like
I
and they
I have these pills that have garlic and oil of oregano in them, and I just like I'm because I have a hard they're huge. I have a hard time swallowing, so sometimes they just get stuck in my throat, and then it's just the garlic emanating from me. It's disgusting. I had to stop taking them.
dude, and it's like and it was I do think it had real benefits and I took it for a while, but like I couldn't even be consistent with it. So now that I'm single, I was like, what are these benefits? Who cares if I have weird breath? That's why I Googled it. Like purely like I know it's good for me and it's one of those things. And you're not supposed to take it consistently. Like you take it for a little while and you stop it. It's not one of those, it's not like an ongoing vitamin like a probiotic or something.
Yeah.
Um, so that was the whole thing. It's like this fan of ours reminded me of it. I had like nom like flashbacks of how awful it is, and then I remembered why I stopped, which is for love and acceptance. And I was like, maybe we should go back. Okay. So benefits of oil oregano. It's a natural antibiotic, may help lower your cholesterol, powerful antioxidant, also clearly a powerful get the fuck away from my mouth it
Yeah.
being stupid. Okay, could help treat yeast infections, may improve gut health, may have anti-inflammatory properties, could help relieve pain, may have cancer fighting properties, and may help with weight loss. That makes it sound like it's absolutely magical, but I do know that from having candida and having inflammatory issues with my gut and stuff like that, it was just something that like I genuinely remember it helping. I'm slowly making adjustments to get healthier. And I was like, maybe gross vitamins are in my future.
Yeah. It is good stuff. It just yeah, it's comes at a cost.
Potent. Potent.
Potent. So my Google was, you remember how like last Google was like, why do I look so tired? And salt was one of the reasons. And I was like, I can't cut down on salt. I was like, I'll just do Himalayan salt. Do you find that funny? Like, is that
I,
ridiculous logic?
I do a little bit. Yeah. There's a little bit like if somebody is just like, every time I go outside, I get sunburnt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside earlier when the sun is like fresher.
But that makes sense. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be in the sun from like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you need to be out, like you're supposed to go in the morning before 10 a.m. or after 2 when it's not as strong. So fuck you, I guess is what I'm saying.
I guess I was just thinking that the sun is the sun is the sun, but that does make sense that it gets closer and hotter and more potent.
So essentially that's what my Google was, is like, is salt is salt is salt. So, so I was like, is pink Himalayan sea salt better for you than just iodized salt? And no. So there are more minerals in Himalayan salt, like it has like manganese and whatever other minerals are. I was like so confident. I started listing them. I was like, there's manganese and I don't know minerals, but
Is that magnesium or is
I think
manganese
it's
something
different.
else?
I think it's different.
Okay.
There could be magnesium in it too, but there are minerals in Himalayan sea salt, and there's the highest concentration of minerals in that salt than any other salt. But unless they try it, I didn't actually, I bet seaweed salt has more minerals, but that's so minuscule that there's no benefit to that. And sodium is sodium is sodium. So
Yeah.
um, I actually think that Himalayan sea salt, like you need more of it to get the same effects as iodized salt.
Salty, yeah, like saltiness,
The
like the
saltiness,
flavoring.
exactly. So maybe it's even worse. I don't know. So like there's no point in spending more money. And it's a lot more money on like
It really
Himalayan salt.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and then you have to get a grinder. Like they don't even do the work for
I
you.
bought the grinder.
Like
I know.
you're there, you're like, it's like a whole kit. Like first you got to dig out the salt. I don't even know how, like you have to like trap it yourself. Yeah, I kind of had the same situation with sugar. Like when I was really going off sugar many years ago, where I was like, well, I'll just have honey. And they're just like, and they're just, well, I was like, I'll eat fruit. And they're like, like the truth of the matter is like sugar is sugar is sugar. Now, if the choice is between high fructose corn syrup and like regular sugar, go regular sugar. And if the choice is between regular sugar and honey, go honey. And if the choice is between honey and fruit, you go fruit. So like there is a hierarchy, but at the end of the day, if your problem is sugar, whether it's diabetes or for me like candida or whatever, then sugar, sugar, sugar. So it is like you can have better forms of a poison, which is almost kind of what we're going to go into when we go into our topic of smoking. Like,
Oh
what
yeah.
poison is better for you?
Yeah.
But I think we're kind of learning salt, salt, salt. Okay, let's get personal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get personal. How do you deal with rejection?
Ooh. Can you go first?
Yeah, I can go first. I'm actually going to give you a contrast and compare. Old Liz, new Liz. Not too different, if I'm being honest. Just a little more work has gone through. So, old Liz, rejection would happen, and I would be defensive. You know what I mean? Fuck them. They don't know. Like, I would make up excuses of why they're wrong. I'll give you like an example would be like I auditioned for a club and I don't get in. Well, they fucking don't know, and da da da. So it would be like this kind of like defensiveness and put it on them. And then as sadness would set in, I would beat the shit out of myself. I should have prepared more. I'm not good enough. Da 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 da. So and it would be almost like I'd pick those modes and I would wake up feeling this way and I would bully myself by nighttime and I would, wake up bullying myself and I'd go to bed blaming somebody. And it would be that kind of mishmash for however long it took to process it. I would probably complain to my friends. Like I would do whatever I could to almost like disperse the pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's almost like it's on me and I need to like get it off. Um Now with rejection, I will feel it and I'll feel that kind of like, my body gets hot and I'll feel maybe like whatever the rejection is, I might want to cry, I might get really angry, whatever it is, I'll actually still feel all the same feelings. But as soon as I start to blame other people, I have to kind of go to a logic place and I go, are they really bad at their job or are they doing what's right for this position? You know what I mean? Is it, it like at the end of the day, am I all that unique or is this really a casting thing? And even if I'm still putting down the establishment, I still know that this person has a job and it's not fully about me. And then when I start to bully myself, I'll be like, stop. And sometimes I will, depending on how bad I feel, like after a breakup or if it was a job I really wanted, I'll allow myself to like cry and be sad. I might call you and be like, hey, I really wanted this job and I worked really hard and I'm just tired of being passed over for opportunities. And I might like vent to you, but it's just about the feeling as opposed to fuck them and they should fucking die in a fire. Like, and don't get me wrong, it all depends on degrees. But for the most part, I do try to like sit with the feelings, acknowledge that I'm hurt and I do feel rejected and do my best not to blame the pain as much as accept the pain and acknowledge why I feel that way. And I've noticed as I feel it, as much as I don't want to feel it and acknowledge it, it passes a lot faster.
I was like kind of proud of you for old Liz going, fuck them, they don't know. Cause like old Maria would be like, yeah, you're right. I'm stupid. You know what I mean? I'm garbage. You're right. You made the right decision. I don't even know why I tried, like, and so just even defending, just sticking up for yourself, just being like, you don't fucking know. I'm the
Yeah, yeah,
shit. You don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Like, I'm like,
You'll
that's,
regret this.
yeah.
I will rue the day.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I want to get to that. So
Uh-huh.
well, like, I was really excited about it. Something I went out for, something that thing that came to me out of nowhere, and I submitted for it, and I haven't heard back yet. And every instinct of mine is going, you never get anything. You fucked it up somehow. You sent the wrong sort of script. Your script was too shit. You should have sent a better one. Like, I just realized that I kept blaming me. It's only been 2 days. It's like, but I kept blaming me for any like if I didn't get it, it's my fault. I did something wrong. They were interested, and as soon as you open your mouth, they're stop interested. And like I'm really horrible like about that. And so I try to just remember it's probably not personal. If I don't get something, it's most people usually don't get things. And it's like you weren't right for it for whatever reason. and trust that these people can do their jobs and they do know what they're doing. Because I'm like that too. I'm a little bit like, they don't know how to find talent, but yes, I mean, people know.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? Like my sister called me up and she was really upset and I said something to her that I was like, "Oh, I've only started to believe that for myself in like maybe the last 2 years." But I was just like, just because you lost an opportunity doesn't mean you're less deserving of like love and acceptance and value. You don't not get something and then like a notch is taken off your value. You know what I mean? And I
Hmm.
think especially in I mean, I think in everything. I don't even want to just say in the arts, but it just feels like with regular jobs, there's a forward motion and then there's a place that you stay for the most part. And us, we're always like every job is like money, opportunity, moving. It'll get easier. Hopefully. When does it get easier? Oh God.
Validation. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was saying this to her and I was like, "Oh, I've had to say that to myself a lot recently and self-soothe a lot recently, but just because I don't get something, just because something doesn't work out, doesn't it's not the opposite. It's not like you get something and your value goes up and if you don't get something your value goes down. Like this isn't a video game." You know what I mean? Like your value stays the same and then you're the same person with this opportunity or you're the same person without this opportunity. You stay the same. And I've had to remind myself that I am not less than just because I didn't get this opportunity, the same way that I hope to someday ego wise have to remind myself that I am not better than just because I do have this
I can't
opportunity.
wait to remind you you're not better than people.
I I cannot wait for my ego to run amok and you have to fish it back.
Listen, Mealy.
Yeah, yeah. I remember, but I think remembering no matter what happens, you're with a person, you're not with a person, you have an opportunity, you don't have an opportunity, you miss the mark, you make the mark, you are still you. Yes, we're all growing and getting better or whatever, but it was actually really helpful to talk to my sister. And I learn a lot when I help my friends about, oh, that's taken me a long time to actually believe that. Like I do
Yeah.
believe that. But it's been a long journey of remembering that my value doesn't change just because things didn't work out.
Yeah. Great question.
Yeah. Okay, topic.
Topic.
Okay, our topic this week is smoking. A little bit of the history of it, the benefits of it, the not benefits of it. Because I think there are everybody knows what from the Dare program or just being young, like everybody knows it's not good for
The
you.
DARE program. Yeah.
The Dare program. You had the Dare program,
To
right?
keep your kids off drugs. Oh yeah. It
Did
was
you have
like
your
an
sweet Dare shirt that you wore not ironically because you got a free shirt and your parents told you wear free shirts and then
I didn't
eventually
wear that
people
shit. Did you wear that?
Of course I wore it. I got a free shirt.
Unironically wore
Yeah, of
that shit.
course I wore it.
What a
I got it
loser.
in like the 3rd grade. I love free shirts. And then somewhere in high school, people that did drugs started wearing it ironically. And I was like, oh, I got to go get my shirt. I still have that shirt. I want to be cool. I do drugs. I think it'll be funny. I love jokes. And I'm like dishing it out. Okay. When did you start smoking?
Oh, I was 13 years old.
14.
Shut the fuck up. I forgot you
Yeah.
ever smoked.
I smoked my first cigarette, drank my first beer, and did ecstasy all at the same party, all on the same day.
Whoa, big night for Liz. Let's write that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Liz
Liz's big
Mealy's
night.
big night. Yeah.
When Liz became cool as fuck. I was hanging out with a bunch of juniors at a party.
Interior
Yeah,
living
yeah,
room
yeah, yeah.
night
Tiniest
party.
person, youngest person in the room.
Dare
Fr-
t-shirt on.
yeah, friend's sister literally threatening people, don't touch her, make sure she's okay, to her, to me and her sister and all her friends. I was always like curious. Everybody seemed so much happier and more relaxed. Like, why would you not try it? Like,
Cigarette with cigarettes?
yeah. I don't know how you grew up, but it was quite stressful in my home. Everybody seemed quite unhappy and stressed. And my mom was always sitting with a cup of coffee crying. So I was like,
Oh.
coffee isn't fixing anything. So I was never drawn to coffee because it was like my mom was like, I just want 5 minutes apiece. And then she would sit at the table and cry over a cup of coffee and we would ignore her. Like that's what she wanted. So we would just ignore her. God forbid you ask my mom a question while she's having her cup of coffee. I was like, I'm so glad that I learned very quickly not to do that. But I my parents didn't do any drugs, didn't smoke. My mom drank a little bit when we were younger, but she really didn't. So there was no vices in my house and everybody was unhappy. So I think unconsciously the message was these people are doing drugs and drinking and smoking and they seem happy. I want to be happy. I
That's
like
really, really funny and very interesting. Because my thing with smoking was my dad smoked and I hated it growing up. I'd complain all the time. And he would smoke in the van and I would just be like, "Oh, I can't breathe. Dad, I can't breathe." Like,
you're
and he
stunting my growth.
oh my God, one time, I think it was my brother, like my dad was smoking in the living room, we're watching TV, and my brother took a pair of scissors and just snipped the cigarette off.
That's amazing.
My dad just was like like it was just surprise and anger. Just, "What the fuck?" Like
This is my time.
yeah, not happy with that, but, he eventually quit smoking because of all of my complaining, and then I started, so what are you gonna do?
No. So
Well, I didn't
what
start
how old
immediately
was your
after, but
how old was your dad when he quit?
I think
And
like,
is it
let's say I was 10, then maybe he was 47.
wow. And did he stay quit? Like, is your dad still a non-smoker?
He started again years later, and then as far as I know, he's quit now.
Yeah, as far as you know. He's just like, "Oh, I gotta go get some milk.
There was a
Oh, this is smoky."
short period of time we smoked together, and,
Really? What a
yeah, on
bonding
vacation.
experience.
Yeah, it was weird, but it was kinda nice. We just had a beer and a cigarette together, like, at the beach, and it was kinda
Yeah.
like, "Alright, alright."
And did he ever judge you for starting smoking?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Isn't that
and
isn't that
yeah.
so funny?
Why?
I I just I so my little brother smokes. He's now mostly on a vape and he's gotten it down. We'll talk about it later. But, they're fun flavors. So I remember this like 5, 6 years ago. My brother got a bunch of flavors, probably like cereal, you know what I mean? And something fruity and fun. And so I wanted to try it. So I was like, can I try it? And my mom comes in, she sees me, and she was like, Elizabeth. And I was like, Sammy smokes. Why are you yelling? He smokes every day. I'm just smoking for a second. Like, I was like, that's unfair. Like,
Yeah,
I'm literally like 30 yelling at my mom. I was like, you can't
that's
yell at me. I'm
unfair.
yelling at you.
I didn't realize you were 30, I thought you were a teenager in
Oh,
this.
no, no, no. No, because Sammy would be, if I was a teenager, Sammy would be like 5. Um, so yeah, so Sammy is like, Sammy started smoking in high school and he's now down to just like kind of vaping here and there. Like he's it I think vaping has kind of helped in some ways, but regardless, he was smoking both cigarettes and vaping. And we remember in LA, we went to that vape shop and we almost turned it into like a tasting bar and we
Oh,
tried every
yeah.
single flavor and I
Yeah.
got a stomach ache and a headache because I don't smoke and I was like, it tastes
Yeah, but
like
the vape wasn't
muffins.
there wasn't any nicotine in the vape you were vaping, but there must have been something in there that
Yeah,
wasn't
there's some
driving.
kind of chemical that did not or maybe my I just confused my body because it was all these different flavors and then no sustenance. He was like, "These are fruity pebbles and this is cinnamon toast crunch." And then I was like, but I don't feel it inside my body." I don't feel the cinnamon toast crunch in my mouth. Okay, I started when I was 14 at that party. So, it starts slow. You go to a party, you smoke a cigarette, you're like, how do I hold it? How do I look cool? Am I do I have friends now? And then we would have it like once in a while. It became like when you had access to it. And then I'm trying to think if any of our friends' parents smoked, but I'm unsure. And then it turned into we met a bunch of punk kids and they became like a part of our friend group when we were 15 and they smoked. And through meeting up with them, it became every weekend I would smoke and I would have a couple cigarettes every weekend. And then it turned into as I became like 16, 17, people got their license, they would pick us up, we would have projects and I would have to go to Amanda's to do a project. Then I was smoking after class and what have you, and I got up to about a half a pack a day. And what's interesting about it is like I knew I didn't want to do it anymore when I was 17. I knew that like I didn't feel it wasn't doing it like I was still smoking pot. I knew like I was kind of over drinking. Nothing fun ever happened. It could put me in a lot of scary situations. And pot was like the only thing that kind of still like felt good and it was fun and whatever. But smoking, I was just like, I don't want to do it anymore. And so I I don't know where this logic came from, but all my friends had their license. I was the last person to get my license. And I said, after I got my license, I would quit because all I wanted to do was smoke in a car because my friends looked so cool smoking in a car. So I finally got my license and, I pick up my friends and we're smoking and ash would just go in my face. I was like, how are people doing this? Like, I don't understand. So I was trying to smoke in the car, ash is blowing in my face, and I quit the next day because I was like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, I couldn't figure out how to drive and smoke.
That's that's hilarious. Driving and smoking was, like, my favorite thing to do. I would
It
drive, smoke,
looks
sing at the top
fun.
of my lungs. It's fun. It's fun. Road trips, smoking. That's the American dream.
I couldn't figure it out.
That's too bad
How
because
funny
it
is
was
that? Well,
great.
like, everything for me with smoking was about a cool factor, and if I couldn't figure it out, I was like, "Well, I don't wanna be less cool." Like, I wanna be the person that's, like, blowing smoke, coughing, getting ash in their eye. So I was like, "I'll just be a non-smoker. I'll be over here not smoking because I can't figure it. I'll just, like, figure out how to walk in heels." Still haven't figured that out. Like, I was just, like, a check sheet of cool that I kept knocking off stuff because I couldn't
Yeah.
figure it out. But
Um,
that's why I quit, is like I knew I didn't wanna do it anymore, and I hated the sneaking around because I started doing it at home, which is like I always told myself it would be like I wasn't gonna put myself in danger of getting in trouble, but I started drinking and smoking at home because I was so sad, and then eventually, I think when I started stand up, I was like, I don't need to do this anymore."
wow.
Yeah, it is
I
kinda weird because it wasn't hard for me to quit smoking. I really wasn't enjoying it towards the end, and then again, I
yeah.
wasn't cool at it, and that was half the reason I
That's the
started.
thing about my addiction is that I don't feel like it's a physical addiction. Like, I can go plenty of time without smoking. I only like to smoke between the hours of 5 and 8 PM.
Yeah.
Like, I just if I mean, that's in lockdown. Like, obviously, if I'm out, I'll smoke more because it's a thing to do, especially if I'm drinking, even if I don't drink anymore, but, like, I'll have between about 5 cigarettes. I can't let those go. I've always been like that. When I lived in LA, 5 PM, I'd have a cigarette. I might have one more, but generally, like, if I wasn't going out, it'd be 2 cigarettes a day, and I can't let that go, and I don't know why.
How's the longest you've gone without smoking?
4 years.
Okay, and what did you feel you replaced it with?
I don't know. I just powered through, and then you just sort of stop wanting it after a while.
Because I feel like Europe is like, they have I feel like Europe has the pack of cigarettes where there's, like, a dead baby with, like, a lung that, like
Yeah, it's so
but
funny what you'll not see. You just won't look at that, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but, like, they have the most aggressive, um maybe not the most aggressive, but I just feel like at least the pack of cigarettes feel like such an aggressive, like, "Don't smoke, da da da." But then also Europeans, I feel like they smoke more than Americans do.
Oh, 1,000,000%. It's much more fun to smoke in Europe than it is in like, when I lived in LA, it wasn't I felt like an outlier or I felt like an outsider smoking, and then I
Yeah.
come to Europe, and everybody's drinking, everybody's smoking, then, just living it up over here, and then,
I
they
I
don't have
think
that
of
kinda health
yeah, I
like,
think of Europe like an
I
old
need to
I'm
say
sorry.
this,
Yeah.
most places don't have the same health mindset that LA does, so it's not like just
Yeah.
Europeans are dirty smokers, but,
No, no, no,
living in
I that's
LA
a
really does keep you eating healthier and more of a healthy lifestyle.
it's a different type of peer pressure. It's a peer pressure to look good and be healthy as opposed to like a peer pressure to be more carefree. They're drinking outside in UK, and as soon as you I feel like as soon as you're done work, you just like find yourself in a bar. Like you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like do you ever go home? Like I
Right.
assume these people are just they like wake up and they go back to work from the bar. Um but when I think of Europe, I think of like a 60-year-old Italian man baking bread while smoking a cigarette while yelling at somebody. Like there's just like this casualness that like everybody is doing whatever they're doing while smoking. My favorite was like in the Netherlands, it was like a dude riding a bike, reading a book while smoking a cigarette. Like they're always doing something and a cigarette. Like it's like
Yeah.
I always think Europe is healthier, and then I think about how much they drink and how much they smoke, and I'm like, I guess our sugar intake, like our awful food, it matches their love of smoking.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But they
So
at
what's
least
the
are skinny
what?
about it. They're skinny
Yeah.
about their
Well, yeah, they're walking around more, they're riding bikes and shit.
yeah, yeah, they're
We're not
riding bikes
we're
while smoking,
driving.
and we're
We're
watching Netflix.
driving and smoking, and that's
Yeah,
fun, and you missed
it
out.
is fun. Yeah, I did miss out. I couldn't figure I'm not even joking. Like when I think about it, I tried it twice, by the way. I didn't even have the perseverance to be like, I'm gonna get good at this. I was like, I tried it twice. I was like, "Gah, gah, gah." And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm out. And I was already like foot out the door with smoking anyway. I think I had pushed it back almost like 2 months because I was waiting to be able to drive. And I couldn't do it while on my learner's permit. I was with my father and he didn't know I smoked. But you know what I was thinking? I mean, we're in a business where everybody's kind of smoking and doing drugs and drinking or whatever. And like, it's never bothered me. Also, just so we're clear, I had such great memories while being very sad with these people that smoked and my friends. I was one of the first of my friend group to quit and I stayed off smoking. All my friends were like, I'll quit in college, and then they really struggled to quit, and some of them have flip-flopped, and some of them quit for good, some of them have flip-flopped, and then I still have tons of smoking friends. I like the smell. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like when I walk down the street and a whiff of it, I like the same way that like somebody might smell like a cake that their mom made and it might bring back memories. Like I think about how I felt when I was like 16 and I was hanging out with my friends, and I was the only time in my life when I was a teenager that I felt free or carefree. But like my buddy Prakash smokes and he's always like, "Oh, is this okay?" Now it hurts my eyes and I do cough, so I can't be like directly in line with somebody. But like if he's on the other side of the room smoking and I can smell the smoke, like it feels nice. Like it weirdly is like a hug. And I but like it doesn't make me want to smoke. It just reminds me of friendship.
I get that. I get
And I
that.
don't want Prakash to smoke. I don't want Prakash to die. He's never going to quit smoking, and I don't nag him anymore like I used to. But like I have accepted that that's what people are going to do, and when they're open to quitting, I'm a person, but I'm not as naggy as I used to be because you also just kind of see that like everybody has their vices. And I'm not somebody that's like, don't smoke, it's disgusting. I'm more like, don't smoke, I don't want you to die. Like I've never thought it's disgusting as a way of getting people to stop.
That's probably why we got along for so long.
Yeah, I never like it's funny because like I hear people be like, you can smell it on their clothes. And this might be because I didn't grow up with a smoker. I think there's something different about being a kid and that being something as opposed to like I was a teenager and my friends were doing it and they were my world at the time. Um, so there's a lot of positivity I feel towards it. But like I dated a smoker. My first like real boyfriend hid it from me. So the first 3 months we were dating, this should have been like a sign, by the way. The first 3 months we were dating, I did not know he smoked. And then one day we're walking somewhere and he busts out a cigarette. And I was like, what? And he's like, oh, yeah, I smoke. And I'm like, what? And then I spent the whole relationship trying to get him to quit. But I was just like, yo, man, you can't
Wonder why he
just.
hid it from you. I think that's funny. I wonder what the, like, catalyst of him being like, "I'm not fucking keeping this up anymore," and just I'm
I
just gonna
think he
have a
knew I
cigarette.
cared about him. I think we probably exchanged I love yous. And he's like, I'm
He's
in.
like,
I'm in.
"Alright."
Like
Yeah,
literally, I
that
was
was
like,
always actually that was what was really hard about online dating in LA was that, I was a smoker, as few as they were, but, online dating is stressful, stressful situations make you wanna smoke, and so you don't say you're a smoker because nobody likes them. And then, if the date actually doesn't I just remembered how relieved I would be if the date was like, so I smoke. I'm gonna have a cigarette." And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is great."
yeah,
Like, it was
yeah,
just
yeah.
such a relief to find out you both smoke.
Yeah. I was actually gonna say that,
And
like,
then
there
wanting
is.
to end a date and then wanting to end a date, like, quicker, like, if you're like, "This isn't going anywhere, and I want a cigarette." So you're just like, "Yeah, let's just wrap this up so I can go
Yeah.
smoke."
There is also a part of you that's just like, they seem like they don't like smokers. I'll end this just by smoking.
Yeah.
Like, you whip out a cigarette and you're like, "I'll make sure we can end this quickly." It's so funny that we've ostracized people as smokers. Like, really what we've done is we've made it more expensive. We put you in little corrals. You can only smoke here, you can't smoke here. We've made
The
it like.
smoking thing in an airport was the reason I quit a second time because it was so degrading and so like it was just humiliating. Like they shoved you in this little booth and everybody in there is just like, "Ugh," and I'm like, I'm not this.
Yeah,
Like I
and
don't
they
want to be
you
this.
hot box a room, you make it even worse than it is for you. And yeah, I that's what I was gonna say is like they've literally made you an other and made you a freak as a way, like they've shamed people. Like they've tried to shame people. They've made it so expensive, especially in like New York where they tax the shit out of it. But like, you can't smoke in restaurants anymore. You can't, and I'm not saying it's wrong because it's about a health safety thing, but there is a mental thing that's gone with it. I find it so fascinating that it went from like safe and cool, You know what I mean? Like doctors are recommending it in the 30s and like, you know what I mean? And it was like this thing where like every actress, everybody was doing it. And then I think they said it, I looked it up. It was like 1964 is when like people started to come out, doctors started to come out and say it was bad for you. So there's this big shift in the 60s where people are like, it's not healthy, but it's a part of everybody's lifestyle, but they're, starting to be like, I don't know if we should have mothers do this, or we shouldn't be on planes, hotboxing a plane, smoking. Why do we have fire in the air? That seems wrong.
Yeah.
So they start to be this like consciousness of it. But it was really like I started stand up in 2002, and comedy clubs in New York only allowed smoking. I think the first 6 months that I did stand up. I think by 2003 you no longer. So I found it interesting that I had a very short window when I remember the audience being smoky.
I remember that too. I worked at a comedy club, and I remember like it went from smoking to having smoking shows. So you could do the 7 p.m.
Wow.
lame ass non-smoker show or the 10 p.m. smoking show, right? You can like, yeah.
Wow.
And then eventually it was just banned completely. And I just remember how angry smokers got. And I was a smoker at the time, but I wasn't angry because I agreed with it. Like I was sick of coming home, my clothes reeking and hair smelled all the time. And so I didn't mind not smoking in public, but and it also got you to cut down. And but like man, smokers have got so many pissed off people. Just I'm working in the box office at a comedy club saying like there are no smoking shows anymore. Just the tirades I get from that, the lectures I'd get about like why it's okay to smoke, and like, sir, I just work at a fucking comedy club. I didn't make
Yeah.
the laws. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, move somewhere else. Like, but I do think that that was a good move. But making cigarettes more expensive, I don't think is,
Yeah. It's garbage.
yeah,
I think that's fucking garbage. Like, I understand not having it, like, because I remember we'd go to TGI Fridays when we were kids, and there'd be the smoking section, the non-smoking section, but it was like to the other side of the like, you know what I mean? Like, you still, I can see it, I can smell
yeah,
it. Like,
yeah,
what is it? It was like garbage logic. The same way that people are rightly saying you have to wear a mask in the restaurant, and then you sit down and you take the mask off. Like, that is a little weird. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, they're not wrong. Now, if it's well ventilated, if everybody else is wearing a mask, I see it. But like, there are some things to like the smoking logic of the smoking section and non-smoking section was just, it was stupid. I understand when it came to secondhand smoke and the logic behind the science behind that and the acknowledgement of it. But the fact that the same people that make cigarettes also make like Nicorette gum or, the patch or whatever. And like, no matter if you smoke or you're quitting, they're making money.
oh yeah, and vapes. By the way, like I the first time I when I not the first time I quit for a year and a half because I read the book, the
Oh,
Easy Way to Stop Smoking by Alan Carr.
yeah, all my friends read that.
Such a great book. It worked
Yeah,
like the first time. Works the first time. I started smoking again while I was in Germany because I was like, I'll just have
Europe.
the one. You forget what he tells you, and then you just have the one, and you're back on. I thought also, well, I quit so easily reading that book. I'll just read the book again. I've read the book probably 4 times since then, and it just doesn't work anymore. And I think there is a follow-up book that I'll have to like look into, but there's Nicorette gum on my bed right now, and just I smoke like 2, 3 cigarettes a day, 4 maybe, and this gum doesn't work. That's why I don't think it's a physical addiction, because it's like I don't want the nicotine necessarily. I think I want just like the moment, just like after the podcast, and I just have a cigarette to myself, or before a show, or after a show, or whatever. Like these moments are harder to give up than the
Which
actual
is
nicotine.
interesting that you say that, because it says like, one of the questions I looked up is, do cigarettes make you high? Because I did have friends that would say like, I get a buzz from it, and it says it causes the brain to release adrenaline that creates a buzz of pleasure and energy. The buzz quickly fades, then you may feel tired or a little down, and you may want the buzz again, and then your body is actually able to build up a pretty high tolerance to nicotine, so you need to smoke more to get that same high. So what I actually think is interesting, the in general, because you're a morning person, that you're starting to kind of go down, you have cigarettes to kind of build up that adrenaline, and then by the time you do a show, you don't, you know what I mean, you're now getting natural adrenaline from doing shows and stuff like that, as opposed to me, and this is going to sound really shitty, but like when I start to go down, I'll go for a run, or I'll do, you know what I mean, I'll do something else to get that adrenaline, and then
Well,
I
good
go do
for
shows.
you.
Yeah, I know. That was a really obnoxious, but we still need the adrenaline. We still need the buzz. We're just getting it in different ways. So
Maybe, yeah.
I wonder if you can replace that
But
adrenaline.
I don't like the high. Like the first cigarette of the day, I get my head gets all ugh, and I don't like that. But like after a show and the adrenaline rush, I want a cigarette like I've just had a shot. Like I've just like drank something
Okay.
because I have that rush of adrenaline and I just I don't know, the cigarette just kind of goes with it. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Would you say, because I don't really remember any like withdrawal when I quit, and maybe it's because I only smoked for a couple of years, maybe it's because I really didn't smoke that much or I wasn't consistent. But what would you say the withdrawal symptoms feel like? To me, watching my brother go through them, it feels like anxiety, or it looks like anxiety, but I don't actually know.
For me it feels more like being hungry or thirsty or something. It's just that there's this need. It's like a craving. It feels like a craving, like a really strong. Like, say you're craving cake, but it's gotta be cake. It can't be cookies, it can't be just honey on something, like, it's gotta be, "I want a fucking piece of cake with icing on it. I want cake now."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like this really specific, intense craving that nothing else really satisfies.
And it's like you feel it in your body or you feel it in your it's like a message in your head,
I don't
or both.
I don't know. I don't know that question. I don't understand the question, really.
I don't know. I
It's just
guess
this
like
want. It's just a want I have. I'm like, "I really, really, really you really want it's a cigarette." I mean, I've seen other people not have cigarettes and get really anxious and get really angry, irritable, and I get that. But I don't know that the it's almost like the lack of nicotine is an excuse for that behavior rather than causing it.
yeah, or it's amplifying it because my brother already has anxiety, so to not have it is only like, you know what I mean? It's only gonna increase it. So maybe it's just whatever. I guess we can do a whole nother episode on vaping because we've kinda
Yeah, I think so. I would really like
let's
to
do
do
another.
I'd like to look into vaping because 'cause I'd like to explore it as an option again because it did help me quit smoking, but I
Yeah, let's do
worried.
a separate we'll do a separate one on vaping.
Okay.
I will say this. So I found this really interesting. My friend Amanda, we started smoking together when we were teenagers, and she's the one that was like, "I'm going to quit in college." And then college came around, and she was struggling. And she read that book. I think she quit a little bit, but then she went to the doctor. This is after like I don't know, probably she's in her mid 20s, so probably 10 years of smoking. She goes to the doctors, and the doctor goes, you fill out that form. How many cigarettes do you have a day? Da da da. And the doctor goes, "Hey, your lungs look incredible, like truly, there's not a spot on them. They look amazing. But this is a turning point. If you continue to smoke, it will start to stick. It will stay there. You could literally quit today and have smoked for 10 years with almost no repercussions. But I am telling you from all the studies and from all the patients I see, if you continue to smoke, everything gets slower, everything gets worse. It's going to start to come, and and it was a turning point for her. Like the fact that she was like, "Oh, I could have had my fun," which I always said I was going to do, and then quit in college, and I didn't. So it really was like she read the easy, what was it called? Easy way to quit smoking. She did everything she could, and she's been pretty good. I'm not saying she hasn't like relapsed here and there, but for the most part, she's a non-smoker now because that doctor was like, "Hey, you had your fun, and if you stop now, you could literally be scratch free." And it could be just because she was healthy in other ways, or I don't know why. Maybe her body was able to go 10 years without. But everything I have read and everything I have learned is that even when you quit and you fail at it, you're helping your body. Like within a day or within a couple of 24 hours or whatever, your lungs already start to heal. After a couple of months, your skin starts to heal, and like it builds on itself, so that even if you quit for a couple months and you go back, you still gave your body time to heal.
Breathe.
And breathe, literally breathe. I don't know, those two, those that fact and that story always, like, that had a profound effect on me, and I didn't even smoke anymore. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So okay, write to us at two non-doctors, that's two non full word doctors at gmail.com. And we want to hear, I guess we want to hear like how maybe you quit smoking. If you still smoke, what's preventing you from stopping. I like my buddy Prakash, like I don't think he is gonna quit, but like I don't know, he's been healthy in
Yeah,
other ways.
I know a confirmed smoker too, and it's just like she's She's like, "It's fine. It's not bad for me. I'm fine." It's just like, "Okay."
Yeah, there's some people that, like, I don't know why, like, of course I want him to, and I want him to be healthy, and I always, I don't want him to die, and die prematurely, but, like, there's just some people that are like, "This is what I'm doing, and I this is what it is," and you're like, "I just know not to fight with him about it." So I
Yeah.
don't. But I don't think I would ever date a smoker again. I would either nag them or I just wouldn't get into that relationship. I just think that's a
Yeah.
fact as well. So like I think I've also learned to be like I don't want that position either anymore of like worrying about all my friends dying.
That makes sense. But write to us, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.